Yeah, it was a big part of everything we talked about. And again, we try to simulate that in practice and put them in adverse situations, and put them in as many of those situations as possible. But nothing compares to that actual game time situation with the crowd in there, and every possession means something. So for us to go out there and take positive steps, I thought early we had some great looks. We missed a couple easy layups, we missed some wide open threes, but we stayed in it. We stayed together. We kept guarding, and eventually went in that run where we got up 18. And you have to try to manufacture some points when that ball's not going in the hoop. I think 1 for 13 at halftime from the 3-point line, but we got to the free throw line 19 times, and a lot of that was Hanif getting out in front of the ball and attacking the basket. And you have to have that when that ball's not going in, and you have to continue to guard. And I thought we did that tonight.
How do you feel you guys are coming along as a defensive team right now?
Well, that's obviously another thing we talked about is being more consistent on that end of the floor. And I thought, a big thing tonight was we asked our bigs, we knew that they'd have their hands full. Those are some big, strong, physical players down in the block, and they were going to play one-on-one because a lot of their offense comes from the 3-point line. When they get offensive rebounds, they do a great job at kicking out for open threes. And, we did a really good job, I thought, of running them off their shot and forcing them in to take mid-range shots as opposed to giving them threes. And that was a big part of our game plan, and the guys went out and executed it.
How have you kind of seen Ivan, I guess, grow over this first stretch of games you guys have had?
Yeah, I talk about this a lot. Sometimes we forget Ivan's still a 17-year-old kid. And, you look at him out there, and he's got a big, strong body. He's a big physical kid. But, in reality, he probably should be playing in high school this year. So, we're asking a lot of him to go out there and start in a conference that's as physical as any in the country. And, he's going to have a battle on Friday against a very physical, maybe the most physical team in our league in Rutgers. And, not only Ivan, but Kevin as well. And I thought those guys did a good job of doing their work early. You have to do that when you're giving up size. But for Ivan to go out and get that double-double was huge with the 14 rebounds. We have to have that. And, again, with this game, we played two of the bigger, longer teams in our league so far with Indiana and Purdue. We'll see another one on Friday. Our guards are going to have to go in there and help out. Similar, one of the reasons I think we won that game against Purdue is Burt got 7 and Cam got 10. And the guards went in there and helped when our bigs are in a wrestling match with those guys. But, yeah, Ivan, with the 6 offensive rebounds, and I thought he finished better as the game went on. And his free throws look good. I really liked his free throw stroke today.
What do you point to as most important for these guys, knowing that it's all Big Ten from here on out?
Yeah, it's just, the overall consistency of everything we're trying to do. We have to have a great week of practice. I thought the guys came back with good focus after the holiday break, and we have to continue on an upward trend if we're going to have a chance to compete with the teams that we're about to face these next 18 games. What you prepare yourself for, hopefully, is to be playing good basketball when you go into league play. You have to. We can't have lulls where we drop our heads or have poor body language because teams will take advantage of us and they'll go on a big run, and then it's going to be too late. And we've done that in our league games so far. And hopefully those are 2 games we can build on. Had a disappointing loss in our last one, but bounced back, I thought, with a good effort, especially on the defensive end tonight. And offensively, that ball really got moving, I thought, in the second half. And, defensive pressure led to some easy baskets, and we have to find a way to manufacture some of those.
Hanif kind of alluded to these guys having a tendency to play up or down depending on the opponent. Do you think that was maybe a product of the inconsistency was maybe a product of that, and do you see that maybe changing with league play?
I think the inconsistency early was just guys really trying to get a feel for everybody, and going out there with so many new faces in a game type situation, and your first road experience, how do you handle it? Obviously not very well with our 2 games against Georgia Tech and Creighton, but then followed that up with a great performance at Indiana, and followed that up with a great performance on a short prep against Purdue. So. I'll say this. This group is hopefully coming together, and we'll go out and play consistently on both ends of the floor. And we're going to have to. Obviously, we have a very thin margin, and we have to go out and do everything right if we're going to have a chance to win.
Fred, that consistency and avoiding those lulls. In these first 13 games, how much of your expectations were shaped by the composition, the relative inexperience of this group? Just what your standards were? How much was it impacted by the way this team came together?
Yeah, as far as expectations, I really didn't set them. I just wanted to see us take positive steps, and I've seen us get better as a basketball team. Obviously, the disappointment of the last game, but after going back and watching that thing, as I said yesterday, I it wasn't as much as an energy thing as it was a body language thing, and I just didn't see that urgency and resiliency that I had seen in the two Big Ten games. And today, when the ball wasn't going in the hoop, we did a better job of continuing to guard. But, we scored it at a high enough clip and an efficient enough clip against North Dakota to win, but we just could not find a way to get the big stop. And they answered every run, and you got to give them credit for that. But, you got to find a way to be resilient when tough times happen. And we're going to continue to, every game we play, I promise you, we're going to go through a tough stretch. We handled it great against Purdue. We handled it well against Indiana. We didn't handle it as well in our last non-conference game. So in order for us to compete, we have to be consistent in that area.
Is this somewhat unique to this team to not have expectations at the beginning and just look for positive steps, or do you?
Well, I want to see the team get better as the season goes on. And, we had so many new faces, and obviously expectations weren't very high for this group. Not to say that we ever talked about that, because, I went in there with an open mind, with a group of guys that I felt good about that could go out there and compete. And I'll say this, for the most part, we are competing at a much more consistent level than we were earlier in the year. And I think it's the product of guys getting more comfortable with each other and being in, 14 games now, that we played together out there on the floor. So I do think we're getting better. We are growing. Are we still going to have some ups and downs and growing pains? Sure we are. But, my goal with this group is to continue to get better and continue to take positive steps.